ブルージェイズとの3連戦最終戦に挑みましたドジャースですが、惜しくも4対5で敗戦となりました。初回先制されるも大谷翔平選手の2試合連続となる先頭打者41号ホームランで同点。フリーマン選手の一発で一気に逆転で幕開けた試合でしたが、トライネン、ベシアが失点し1点差で迎えた9回裏1アウト満塁で大谷翔平選手、ドジャースタジアム争奪で期待された場面でしたが、最終打席は8球粘った後9球目で三振。ベッツ選手もサードゴロに倒れ試合終了。あと1本が出ず悔しい敗戦となりました。試合後の現地放送を翻訳してお届けいたします。
Hello, welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Mercury Insurance. I'm John Hartung, alongside Nomar Garciaparra, D-Train, Dontrell Willis. Dodgers not able to complete the three-game sweep over the Toronto Blue Jays, and a game that really comes down to missed opportunities for the Dodgers. They had a 3-1 lead in this game. The Blue Jays get 3 solo home runs against the Dodgers bullpen, Nomar. But really, this is about the Dodgers offense. They had 10 base hits, 13 walks from Toronto Blue Jays pitching, 23 base runners, and they just left so many guys on base all day.
Yeah, this is a tough one. You know, obviously we talk about winning the series. You win the series, but man, you had a really big opportunity to win this game and sweep this series against a good Toronto Blue Jays team. And from an offensive perspective, the opportunity after opportunity and letting it go. You know, you look at this game, you can see how this game was going along, and you kept missing those opportunities. You were thinking, man, you're getting the Blue Jays an opportunity to try to come back in this game, and that's exactly what they did. The offense, I'm sure, is looking at themselves and say, listen, man, that was our game to really go out there and take, and weren't able to do that.
1 for 9 with the runners in scoring position. You left 16 men on base. You're not going to win that ball game. I don't care who you're going up against, whether it's the first-place team or the Colorado Rockies. That much traffic and the inability to cash in, it swings the momentum back into the dugout every single time. And what Nomar's talking about is every time they seem to be on the ropes and we didn't have that final punch to knock them out, the momentum swings back in and says they're keeping us around. Now, as far as the bullpen, they've been absolutely outstanding, but they just made 3 bad pitches that end up costing the game. Blake Treinen with the 2 sliders up in the zone. We all yelled no when that first one came out of his hand. And Alex Vesia, who's been outstanding all season long, just made a mistake and got ambushed, and that ends up being the game.
Yeah, you got to make teams pay for issuing walks. And in the bottom of the 9th, Nomar, the Toronto Blue Jays closer, Jeff Hoffman, walks the bases loaded. You have the bases loaded and 1 out. You've got Shohei coming up. You've got Mookie up there, and the Dodgers still not able to cash in.
Yeah, I mean, credit the Dodgers hitters, though, with all the walks, right? They weren't chasing, they weren't going out of the zone, but they could not get the hit when they really needed to capitalize. You know, even late in the game, we know that they're going to battle, and they did exactly that, doing an excellent job. I mean, even situational hitting, great job by Freeland, executing the sacrifice bunt. Here you go now. Now you're going up there and you're going, okay, you got guys in scoring position, and good job by Carl. You want to turn the lineup over, and that's exactly what you did. I mean, you turned it over to get it over to Shohei Ohtani, who they already intentionally walked twice in this game. And we see that final pitch, and we knew there was the pitch before. The pitch before was the breaking ball that he pulled foul. That was the pitch that you know you had to capitalize on. And then here's Mookie Betts hitting just a ground ball to end the game.
I'm still thinking about that pitch that Shohei missed, especially the pitch before, because that was the backup slider. And we knew the way that the pitcher was attacking Shohei Ohtani. Once Ohtani missed that other breaking ball, we were like, man, usually pitchers make an adjustment, they change their sideline, and they throw a better pitch down in the zone. That's the area that Shohei Ohtani is going to be attacked, down in the zone. It seems like no matter what team comes in there in big situations, they're trying to get him out in front and chase a pitch down in the zone. And so when a pitcher makes a mistake elevated, he's got to hit that ball forward. I felt like the swing was a little too big for the situation, just trying to barrel it and tie the ball game. But again, you know, there were so many missed opportunities. This was going to hurt. You know what I mean? Even for us watching it was like we had a chance to really, especially with the Padres playing better baseball, you know, you need every single ball game and really to continue to play well. But nevertheless, they won a series, and now they have another good matchup this week.
So a lot of blown opportunities for the offense in this game, Dontrell, and also the Dodgers bullpen. And they've allowed the 3rd most home runs of any bullpen in all of baseball, and they allowed 3 more today, 2 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, and ultimately that proved to be the difference.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's concerning. We know they have a lot of talent and a lot of firepower, but it seems like no matter what in these situations, especially against the better offenses, they're making mistakes, especially to the teeth of the lineup. In the back end, especially when some of their best players have had 3, 4, sometimes 5 at-bats, you got to be sharp down there. And if you're going to miss down. Make the hitter hit the ball on the ground. Every time we saw a ball that was thrown up in the zone from Blake Treinen, it was like, man, that's going to be trouble. And the one thing about it, Blake Treinen's first 6 pitches, you were like, uh-oh, this is turned back the clock, Treinen, with the movement, with the execution. But all of a sudden, he just loses it. And that's all it takes is just a lapse of execution, a lapse of focus, and a lapse of dog to be like, I'm going to miss down. I'm not going to miss up. I'm not going to get beat. Alex Vesia just got ambushed. He tried to throw a breaking ball that was a give-me-over swing, give-me-over strike to try to get ahead in the count, and they were all over it. And so that's one of those unfortunate misses. But as far as Blake Treinen being ahead in the count, you have to stay focused and say, I'm going to miss down and make this hitter hit the top half of the ball on the ground to my talented defense.
Yeah, and I think they know that. We know that this bullpen, they talk amongst each other an awful lot, and they know that they need to be better as far as the long ball is concerned. But with that being said, though, the other thing, though, too, that sometimes is a misconception, because we know the bullpen comes in and they are firing strikes. They're coming in and they're not going to give any free passes. And a lot of times they're like, listen, I'll give up a solo shot if I have to. And especially when you're coming in, you're saying, okay, I have the lead, I have a cushion, but I am not going to give up free passes. Here they come, and then sometimes they give up the home run. But it's really hard to believe when you're this type of team to have this success to say, man, we've given up that many home runs, you know, so far, and where you rank throughout Major League Baseball. So that definitely has to be better, and especially at critical moments like today.
All right, let's head back to Dodger Stadium, check in one final time with Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser.
Man, it's almost impossible to have that many chances, that much traffic, and not get the big hit.
13 walks, and they couldn't get the big hit. And you know what? Through this hot streak for the offense, they have been getting the big hit, so they've been turning that around. But today, a little bit of a flat tire. When you watch early in the game, the way they scored in the second and in the first, but then we were kind of flat tire for a long time. And the only way they continued to score at the end of the game was the walks.
Down to 2 over the Padres, who come in next weekend. So you got to be careful not to look ahead to that with the series coming up with the Angels here.
Yeah, we keep talking about October, but now we should talk about the National League West. It is getting tight, but don't overlook these Angels. Get the wins where you're supposed to get them, and then go to battle with the Padres.
All right, it'll be Yamamoto tomorrow from Anaheim.
Here we look ahead on the calendar. It is a Southern California week ahead tomorrow. As Joe and Oral talked about, the Dodgers begin a 3-game series down the 5 in Anaheim against the Angels. And then on Friday, a marquee matchup back at Dodger Stadium as the Dodgers host the San Diego Padres. All of these right here on Sportsnet LA. Carl's Jr. moment of the game, no mark, was Shohei Ohtani leading off the game with a home run, his 41st home run of the season.
You know, getting them on the board early, but we were talking about it a little bit, and I said, you know, as a teammate, and I watched that, where he kind of gets fooled, yet he's out in front, and he still managed to hit the ball a long way, where he's just kind of flipping the ball out there. It's like, man, that's not fair. But he has the power, even when he's out in front. If he puts it on the barrel, it's going to go a long way.
Continues to make history with his home run today. He was 95th during his first 2 seasons with the Dodgers, moving him to 4th all-time in home runs for a player in their first 2 seasons with a franchise. Babe Ruth had 113 during his first 2 years with the Yankees. Alex Rodriguez had 109 with the Rangers. Roger Maris even 100 with the Yankees. And Shohei now with 95. That ties him with Cecil Fielder and what he did in his first 2 years with the Detroit Tigers. Right now, let's go back to Dodger Stadium. Tyler Glasnow is speaking with Kirsten Watson and the media.
Looking at today, how you're able to kind of get things going. Obviously, I'm sure probably with kind of that blue pit to end your outing, might have been frustrated with that. But ultimately, what are kind of your takeaways from today?
I think just early on, not really feeling in rhythm and just kind of moving slow. Just not a lot going on, kind of rushing down the mound. And kind of like last start, I think it's just after the 3rd inning, getting it going, it started to feel a little better.
Yeah. How are you finding kind of making those in-game adjustments a little bit easier right now for yourself?
I think just like today, if I'm falling forward too much, just kind of keeping my weight a little bit farther back and like trying to collect myself over the rubber, and it started to work. Yeah.
You've done a better job of that, especially since coming off the IL, being able to sort of make the adjustment when you have to.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just I'm kind of in like a good groove right now, just having that time on the IL to figure some stuff out, and I just feel kind of like myself, and I think the adjustments are easier to make.
Dave was talking about how right now, obviously, you've done a lot of work with your mechanics, but it just seems like a different focus level. There's blinders on. Are you feeling that, especially in the second half, this back half of the season?
I think when the first part's taken care of, it's a lot easier to kind of focus on that type of stuff. I think it's not in the back of my mind, like something feeling weird or feeling off. I'm just able to go out and compete a bit more, and I think just like my mental headspace is in like a better place competition-wise, just like focused on how to get the hitter out.
When did you know that you'd be moving up a day in the rotation?
A couple days ago. I don't even remember. A few days ago? A couple days ago, I think. He told me, and then I just, prepared for today. Cool. Thank you.
5 2/3 innings today for Tyler Glasnow. D-Train, what did you see from the Dodgers right-hander?
You know, I saw another mixed bag, but, let's go to the K-Zone because his stuff is so dynamic and it's fun to watch. And everything is about mechanics and being able to be synced up. I love that he always talks about working on his mechanics. You see the slide step, 95, didn't get on top of the fastball. It's a flat fastball, and Vlad Jr. is all over it. Another slide step, but because he got his hands out in front, you see the depth change. But then you see another cut fastball where he's not finishing downhill. And so now he's behind the baseball, almost under it, missing up in the zone. That's a better fastball down in the zone. He gets a better result, being able to get the hitter to hit the ball on the ground. Now with the leg kick, he's able to get downhill, get his hand out in front, and now you're seeing the depth change of that breaking ball. The hitter only sees the top half of it, and now you're starting to feel good throwing through the target at the top of the zone. But you see right there, didn't finish all the way. The ball comes out high. Got away with that breaking ball. This is because he spins it so well, ends up getting that double play. But that's what I mean about the mechanics of him. When he's staying over the rubber and is able to get his time synced up and be able to get over and stay in that tunnel, you see more often than not the result being good. But if he's behind and his hand's behind the baseball, it tends to flatten out and he doesn't throw with conviction. So that's just a difference that I see from him being able to give himself enough time over the rubber to get that big body downhill so he can get that downhill angle, because that breaking ball right there, nobody can hit that breaking ball, especially the way it's spinning. And then the fastball at the top of the zone plays even higher when he's throwing 95 to 97 miles an hour.
It really, as a hitter, it is devastating because you're really trying to decide, what pitch can I eliminate and then what pitch can I sit on and where do I look for it? Because a lot of times you're going, okay, if he's going to throw a fastball and he likes to throw it up in the zone, I'm going to be looking up in the zone. But then he comes with that breaking ball, and it is such a big break, and because it starts off up in the zone. There are times when you have guys that you're going, okay, I'm going to look up, because even when they start that breaking ball down, I'm just going to let it stay down, and it's going to be out of the zone, and it's going to be a ball. Him, you got to look. You look up. You look up, and it's still a devastating breaking ball that could still be a strike, and it's a swing and miss pitch.
Dodgers did have 14 strikeouts today, which means tomorrow you can go to Jack in the Box. Get a free Jumbo Jack with a purchase of a large drink only at an LA area location today. Tyler Glasnow covered the number all by himself. Glasnow punched out 8 Toronto Blue Jays. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays were able to get to the Dodgers bullpen with 3 solo home runs in the final 2 innings. Let's go back inside the clubhouse and hear from Blake Treinen with Kirsten and the media.
Just the sweepers pitch for you in the past that's been excellent. Tonight they were able to get to that specific one just kind of with those home runs. Is that something that, when you look at those at-bats, was it just kind of location or them just kind of putting some good swings on it?
I mean, I don't think you look into home runs. It's good swings, and you give good hitters pitches right down the middle, they're going to do damage. And sometimes we get away with making bad locations turn into outs, and I mean, they made me pay for it, and it cost us a game, so it's a little bit frustrating.
What do you think you've been searching for as you've been coming off the IL execution-wise? What do you think you've been searching for execution-wise when it comes to, since you've been off the IL?
I honestly think my execution has been really good. I've had some tough hits through the hole, which, I mean, tip your hat to the hitter. Today was lack of execution. Today's the first day I feel like my execution's been really poor. What's really been frustrating for me outside of the last 2 outings is the first batter. Walks haven't been good for me. Today was better. Last outing against Toronto was really good too. So as long as I'm in the zone, I'm fine. I just got to be better with 2 strikes, and leaving pitches right down the middle isn't good.
How do you feel about where your stuff has been in these 5 games back?
I thought my stuff today was great. It's a location thing. I mean, literally as center cut as you can throw them is where they hit them. So can't be successful in the big leagues throwing it down the middle.
Blake Treinen talking about the 2 home runs he allowed in the 8th inning. Then in the top of the 9th inning, Alex Vesia, first pitch he threw was also hit out of the ballpark. And right now Vesia is with Kirsten and the media.
Yeah, I mean, I threw a slider, and it was down in the zone, and he went and kind of got it. So other than that, I felt good and whatnot, and just one bad pitch.
Do you feel like overall you executed that pitch the way you wanted it to, or was it? Did you want that a little bit lower?
I mean, it's 50-50, man. It really is, honestly. It's like, so yeah, I'm not putting too much weight onto it and just kind of flush it onto the next one.
How frustrating is it for, didn't the offense get all the way back in front, but to not be able to hold it once they were able to tie?
Oh yeah, I would say it's pretty frustrating. I mean, it's, we take a lot of pride in the bullpen, and for us to not get it done today, it sucks.
As a team, has it felt like it's been difficult to gain much traction? You sort of go on a run that you guys have been kind of talking about, you guys feel like you're close to?
What are you talking about? Like, what specifically are you talking about? Like the team?
Yeah, a team that's sort of like winning.
I mean,
wins.
I mean, I thought we did great today. Honestly, like the offense was really good. It's bullpen that we need to get our stuff figured out.
And nobody's ever going to forget what Blake Treinen and Alex Vesia did with the Dodgers and for the Dodgers last October, helping them win a World Series. But they talked about it right here, D-Train, where Blake Treinen said lack of execution today. Alex Vesia says it was one bad pitch to start his ninth inning, and Blue Jays made him pay.
Well, the bottom line is they stood in front of their locker and they were men about it. I have to be better in those type of situations. And if you're Alex Vesia, hey, maybe I should throw that breaking ball down. You can't play the what ifs. He went with the pitch that he felt like was going to get him into the count. Another guy beat him. Hey, sometimes, I said this when I messed up. Hey, they drive nice cars too. This is the big leagues, and sometimes guys are ready to play in certain situations. Both of these men, when you're Blake Treinen or Alex Vesia, are needed in this bullpen. They are stalemates in this bullpen, and so if they want to win another World Series championship, you're going to need both of them to be able to play well, because they play well usually in high-leverage situations. You just have to tip your cap to the Blue Jays. This is a first-place team that tried to avoid getting swept. So this is going to be a battle right now, but I think they're going to be just fine.
I'm a teammate in that locker room, and you're listening to them kind of do the interview, and you're thinking about, okay, the high leverage situation, and they're feeling like they let the team down. It's one of those where, from an offensive perspective, we're like, no, we let you down. Like, there shouldn't have been a high leverage situation in this game to begin with. Like, especially when these guys have come through time and time again when asked, and especially those games that you just really feel, and you're going, man, we scrambled just to get those runs, put up the zeros, and they've done that time and time again. This is one from an offense perspective. You're like, listen, they shouldn't have maybe even been in this game. We probably shouldn't have needed them. We had so many opportunities to make sure that these guys didn't have to. If they had to get some work in, fine. They gave up a couple, but we should have already had a lead where it really didn't matter. So I know as a teammate hearing them going, man, this isn't on you. This is on us for us not being able to score the runs when we should have. I mean, when you have that many runners on base and that much traffic time and time again, and you're going, man, we are not scoring, and we need to. We almost let the offense have let the Blue Jays get back into that game rather than the pitchers letting the Blue Jays get back.
I mean, I thought there was a lot of good, some things that were not so good. But yeah, we gave ourselves opportunities. I thought, taking walks and creating stress, building innings, but we just couldn't get that hit, different opportunities that we had to kind of put this game out of reach.
Said just with those 2 home runs today, felt like it was location. What have you been seeing from him since he's come off the IL?
I think it's just the command. I think, you get Vladdy 0-2, and then you hang a sweeper, and obviously a lot of power, and then you try to go, I think, with a backdoor breaking ball to Barger, and it was middle. And so that's just kind of the command, and the stuff can be good, but you still got to make good pitches. And certainly when you get count leverage, you got to be able to, try to get soft contact or swing and miss. And, right now I think that, in times he's getting behind. But, yeah, I think the stuff is good, but I think it's just more so just kind of tightening up the command.
Is that one of those things that's just byproducts?
I think so. Obviously he's in a good place as far as physically, health-wise, but then, I think he's had probably, 4 or 5 outings. So just kind of getting that dialed in, getting to rhythm, and getting kind of the ball where it needs to be.
Blue Jays got the solo home runs late. Nomar, the Dodgers got him early in the first inning, Shohei and Freddie.
Yeah, we're going to have to break down Access 360 in that first inning where they were getting on the board early on, taking the lead, which was impressive. This is Shohei, which is always impressive, but he gets a 1-2 pitch, a breaking ball down the way. He keeps that front side closed long enough to be able to get the barrel to that ball, and it looks like he just flips it out. That's how strong Shohei is as he hits it out to right field, number 41 on the year. And then I was really impressed with this one. 0-2, fastball away, and Freddie Freeman staying on it and going the other way. Not really easy when you have a lefty who kind of crossfires a little bit, kind of drops down a little bit like 3/4. So the angle where this ball is coming at you, but you still manage to stay on the ball, head down, driving it the other way, putting in play with 2 strikes. And he is a strong man as well, and making sure a young fan, a nice catch out there, gets a souvenir.
All right, so the Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays. It'll be Yoshinobu Yamamoto against the Angels tomorrow night down in Anaheim. Dodgers owe them. The Angels swept 3 here at Dodger Stadium earlier this year. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Pre-game show begins at 5:30 on Sportsnet LA.
いや惜しかったですね。9回のあの打席、粘りまくる大谷選手を見て、これだけ粘れる姿を見ると1本を期待してしまいましたが、望むような幕切れとはなりませんでしたね。それでも、2試合連続となる先頭打者弾には痺れました。9回の粘りもそうですし、絶好調モード突入していることがよくわかる今日の内容でした。試合が負けてしまいましたが、明日からはフルスエンゼルスとの3連戦です。ぜひ勝ち越しと一発に期待しましょう。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。